Live.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh my gosh.
We were.
The mouse was hovering on the end broadcast button. I didn't purposely do it.
Okay.
It just decided to
It's
do it.
recreation.
It's automatic now, huh?
Constant nightmares that we have about this.
It's been a while since we did that. Now I've just jinxed it. So I'll be on extra.
Don't do it now.
care.
Don't do it now.
So we're live. It's Tips from the Bar with CCSK Law.
Here at Miss Baby Meets.
Kurt,
That's right.
Isaac, RG, Jordan on assignment.
Meeting with a new client.
Yep.
So it's always good.
Oh, yeah.
So we're here. It's first day of spring breaks.
Is this
Like this is the day where somehow magically they know an hour where spring starts. Tomorrow's the first full day of spring.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like usually
Today's
they'll
a
say,
partial.
At 2:30, spring starts. I'm like, really?
Okay.
Somebody forgot to tell spring.
I know. Although it's better than usually. It's supposed to get like, I got a buddy in Kentucky, now I'm in Louisville. He said they're supposed to get like 4 inches tomorrow.
I was hearing they were saying New York's going to get blasted like a foot
Oh,
of
they got
snow.
an eraser coming in.
I
It's
knew-
just going to drop all over them.
I knew we weren't done for.
Yeah.
We at least got.
We're gonna.
Well, I
hide our
jinxed it
head
because
negatives.
I went to the Heinlein Feller place today.
This was you.
This
is
is
on you.
me. It's my fault when we get a foot of snow. I made arrangements to have my snow tires taken off.
That is always the death nail in
Yep.
So I'm getting rid of
spring's early arrival.
the styling wheels that I got going on.
Yeah.
My winter wheels.
It's similar to the groundhog seeing the shadow,
Yeah.
but instead, you go to get the tires taken off. And
It's like washing your car. It rains. It's the
Right.
same thing.
Yeah.
Put
So if it
floor.
does, I contemplated as I pulled into the parking lot, am I willing to take that heat? And I'd be willing to take the heat.
Did you
if we
say
could get
wheeling?
some
Yeah.
Did you say wheeling to take that hit?
Willing.
That's
Oh,
like
okay.
a bad.
Oh, I thought it was a bad
It
pun.
wasn't that bad.
I would've
wasn't-
given you
I
the
wasn't
fine.
feeling that bad.
Nice.
So anyway, we're here tonight, and
It's actually not too bad out. I will say it's not too.
I don't know.
It got cold.
That
It got
wind
cold.
that wind was.
Well, I didn't. I also didn't walk from
But see,
up the
that's what I'm
street to
saying.
here.
So I had to
walked
walk
from
to our
the-
insurance place to re-up
Oh,
the
did you
bond
walk?
that I have,
You walked
and I
all
walked from our office this
Yeah.
morning,
Okay.
and it's sunny. Like
Yeah,
the sun was
it's
out, it
beautiful.
looked
Yeah.
beautiful. I thought, oh, this would be a good time to walk, get a little exercise in, a little steppage. And I turned the corner because they still haven't unlocked the alley. I turned the corner by Main and Lincoln and just blasted. And then I'm like, what did I
This
not
is
do
not
here?
right.
Huge
I
mistake.
made a huge
Who did
mistake.
I take off?
Yeah, so it was a little, eyes watering. And
Oh yeah. That was a
then I had a
good
meeting back at Blackbird with a couple of folks. I had a chance to talk with an attorney today who's been practicing for a long time, Larry Evans. He's the Evans of Hebner, Wagner, and Evans, and been willing to help give me some of his experience. His, 35, 40 years. He's
Yeah.
been at it for a long time. And when you have an attorney with that experience laughing at your case, I'm not sure that's a good thing.
That means you got yourself into something you probably should have avoided.
I will say it was interesting because I said this isn't one thing. There's several things that I think I described it to you all, trying to shove it together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very intricate parts, and as we're talking through it, he would just stop and laugh and start to recap, sort of like, I can't believe it. But anyway, I'm like, well, I'm a magnet for these insolvents.
Well, I'll stand because apparently I was in the second, so that's just not.
No, let me see how that does with camera though.
Is that
You're taller. So you're off camera. You're
I'm off
above
camera.
the camera.
I
We
am
can
above. No,
adjust.
it's fine. I don't
No,
mind.
I don't mind. I can stand up too.
I don't mind. There you go. Oh no. Why, Isaac?
I don't know.
You're so tall.
So much time. Stop it.
So anyway, we're here tonight, and
I found out something new this weekend.
okay
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I was
you get?
updating.
It's Tuesday.
I was updating some of my bankruptcy books
Yeah.
for 2018, getting the newest and everything up, so I'd have my.
Right, you got a whole stack of them.
I did. I got a whole bunch of different things. So I was doing that, and I got really excited because I had them go to my home because I know that I can get them every day when they're there.
Yeah.
I got really excited about it, and my wife and my daughter thought I was insane.
You're getting excited about law books?
You get excited about bankruptcy books? I just kind of like, all right.
Hey, law
So,
school does not stop at
total,
law school.
No, total dad moment. It was like, okay, dad, whatever. Yeah, my daughter just shook her head and moves on. And it was very interesting, but
Yep.
anyway, it was one of those things I found it interesting, and a lot of people don't. But so I was thinking let's kind of come up with a topic today of what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, you find some good stuff about bankruptcy?
Oh yeah, I just one of the things that I thought, because you can get so technical with it, and that's the hard part, is you can get into all these little details, and so finding this out that most people don't like it like I like it. It was interesting because it made me think, well, how can I present this to people? I know, right?
Yeah.
Just like business. Like, who wants to be a business?
Well, business is completely different.
No, it's not.
Everyone loves talking about
No,
business.
it's not. No, they don't.
Everyone wants to talk about employment contracts.
Oh, I'm sure. Right.
Independent
Yeah.
contractors, LLCs. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go on.
What products? Who owns it?
Right. So, no. Anyway, so I started thinking like, well, how can I take what do I talk about with bankruptcy? Because half the stuff people, who's going to have what issue and what's going on. So I was trying to find something very general for this first kind of back on our blog topics, and I'll have a blog written about this later this week that you can find on CCSKLaw.com. And I thought, let's find something that everybody has at least an understanding of. And so obviously people get into a bad situation, they can't pay their bills, and one of the things that gets racked up is utility bills.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So I was thinking, well, I wonder, do people want to know what they do about utility bills? So I figure that's what we're going to talk about today is utility bills and what that does for you.
Okay.
Cool.
Because a lot of people, I think, haven't done a survey, bear with me, but I have had clients that have had utility bills that have built up over the years and that they were paying or were putting into the bankruptcy. And so what happens is that a lot of people, I think, are fearful that they're not going to be able to get their utility service.
Yeah.
Because, well, I just declared bankruptcy on this big wad of cash for these people. What happens? And in fact, they can't cut you off. They cannot.
Oh.
So there's a
if you're filing bankruptcy, they can't cut you off.
if you file bankruptcy, they cannot cut you off for specifically that. They can cut you off if you're not paying your bill.
Right.
But if they do cut you off before you file bankruptcy and then you file bankruptcy, they have to reinstate your service.
Wow, that's even a step further.
So we're gonna jump in ahead here. So there is a bankruptcy regulation that prevents them from cutting you off from within 20 days after you file your bankruptcy. So you file your bankruptcy for 20 days, you're locked in. You can't lose your utility service. Then we get into this where it gets just nitty gritty, like into definitions of what is a utility.
Right, I was going to ask.
And so, like, if you have a landlord and they cover your electric, your landlord could technically be considered a utility for this purpose. So, for 20 days, they can't do it. But what they can do is, after 20 days, they have to get some sort of payment or assurance from you of future payment. So, this can be a deposit, depending on what state you're in. So it could be a deposit, like, say you need to make a $75 deposit in order to get keep your service going. And a lot of times it's kind of, people can go to their utility company and say, hey, you can negotiate this with them. That's not always hard and fast is what it is. I've seen cases where people went to the utility company and say their average was $60 to $150 was the range for their utility bill throughout the year. And they said, well, I'll give you 75. And the utility said, no, we're going to want 256.
Yeah.
The bankruptcy court, you can actually go through the bankruptcy court. The bankruptcy court has authority to then go back and say, no, they're going to give you 150. And in this example, this case, that's exactly what happened. Was the bankruptcy court came back and said, no, the utility company is going to take 150, and they can take that paid out over 3 months.
Wow. Okay.
So the court has some leeway to work with you in getting this assured of payment there. I got something.
Nope, that
wasn't a signal. Okay.
That wasn't a signal.
Just making sure there wasn't a subtle signal like. What was it? Yeah, there. That one. Okay. So it's interesting. Yeah, I find it very interesting. So the 20 days, if they have cut you off already and you file bankruptcy on that, they have to reinstate you. And then there's still that period, that 20-day period. Now, what does it really all mean? Not much, because the penalty is for them is like an injunction. Basically, the court will say, no, get it turned on.
Sure.
I mean, you're not going to.
Yeah.
Technically, if for some reason it causes you harm, you can try to go after them for the damages resulting from that.
For having you off during
Yeah.
Yeah. So you file, they cut you off. and then don't reinstate during that 20-day period, you can go to the court and say, hey, they cut me off. What do I do? Okay, the court will say you have to reinstate them. They'll get reinstated. It's an injunction type relief. So, and then of course, if they're wanting, just a ridiculous amount of money for your, deposit or something like that. And sometimes it's, sometimes it may be just a statement of good faith. It depends on what the utility company wants, and you can negotiate with them on it. But yeah, I thought that was really kind of cool. It was kind of neat because it's something that the when they wrote that, they were coming from a place of it's kind of monopolistic in the utility situation, and if you owe your utility money and they're like, oh, we're just going to cut you off and you're not getting any, that's important. So they need to make sure that there's something in place to protect people, almost like a discriminatory basis type situation where it's like, listen, you can't do that. Now they can cut you off for non-payment of anything in the future from the bankruptcy filing.
Okay.
But they can't cut you off for the past debt.
Okay.
Once you file that bankruptcy. So it's not only like some people say, well, I want to file a house I want to file a bankruptcy because my home's going into foreclosure and I want to stop that. There's ways to do that.
Right.
But if you got a bunch of debt and you're swimming in it and they're getting ready to, coming into November or even in the summer, I think is when people notice more because people find a way to pay their utility bill in the winter for heat. And so when it comes into the summer and they're like, oh man, they're going to cut off all the electric in the house and they're going to, not going to have gas and heat and all this different air conditioning and we're not going to be able to cook. We're going sometimes it's that's when people kind of start thinking about, well, man, what happens if I do have to declare bankruptcy?
Right.
Or people might even be fearful of declaring bankruptcy because, well, if I declare bankruptcy, they're going to cut us off. What do we do?
Yeah.
Same thing with the landlord. And, and I'm sure that I guarantee you, I don't know this for a fact, but I just got a hunch that there's probably somewhere out there that a landlord has told them, if you declare bankruptcy, I'm cutting off your electric and not paying for it anymore. And I'm not doing this and that and the other.
Yep.
And, there's always people try to do things that they can't do, but they say they can do.
And I think that's a big issue with the laws, because the law in general is that people who, I'm not an attorney, but
I'm not an attorney, but
people,
I'm about to tell you about law.
People don't know the law, don't care about the law. They just are trying to protect their own interests.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
They in fact know the law, but they don't think you know the law.
Right.
And so they're just going to do something. And
Sure.
It's like when people say, I'm working with clients who are like, well, what can I do? I don't want to have someone challenge, look at a will or challenge a trust, or I don't want. What can I do to protect myself from getting sued? Well, you can't stop yourself from being sued.
So I've got the ultimate example of that is a real example that blows your mind that somebody thought this, but okay. There was at some point in the past at some location an attorney that was consulted. Not our firm, not us.
Okay.
And a friend of a friend of a friend. Okay, but I do know that this has been verified as true. There was an attorney that was consulted. The woman was terribly upset. A nice puppy.
Hey, how are you doing, man? Good to see you.
All the love. All the love, absolutely.
That little ticking sound in the background
has toenails,
dogs on the wood floor. That's hilarious.
I love it. So this woman comes in for a consult because she really wanted to date a guy.
Okay.
And was apparently told by a previous boyfriend that she couldn't date anybody after they broke up for a year or two. Otherwise, I know. Wow.
It's a corgi.
It's a corgi. It's like there's no way you're going to see it on
camera. You're not going to be able to see him on camera.
You're not. It's just not going to happen. He can't jump that high. And so apparently a past boyfriend had told her, like after we break up, she couldn't legally date somebody else, otherwise it would be considered, she would get in trouble with the law. Like it was some sort of a
breach of fiduciary or something?
Well, like
non-compete clause?
Non-compete clause?
I don't know. I can't even remember what it was. It was just so weird that, but
this is why we don't do family law.
Yeah. No, I can't. I'll tell you what, though, I've got a lot of calls on family law this week.
Had another one walk in today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isaac, you need to start doing some family law. You got extra time on your hands. You should do that.
I'll think about that one.
Any family law attorneys that want to go out and join with us, give us a call.
Yeah.
Because there you go.
Come in.
We got the
Utility
cases
thing,
coming
though,
in.
it did remind me of, Roseanne is back, right?
It's going to be back soon. I'm very
It's gonna be
excited.
back?
It has.
Next week, I think.
I think it's next week. Yeah.
It's coming, but there was an older episode of that, and it actually, I saw something that made me think of it, where she was sitting there with Dan, and she was talking about how she pays her bills.
I remember this. This is so amazing. I remember this.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, all right, we take the mortgage, right? We're gonna pay that 15 days late.
Right.
We're gonna push that one up. Now we're going to take the electric bill, the check to the electric bill, and we're going to send it to the gas company.
Oh, the gas company.
Then we're going to take the gas company. We're going to send it to the electric company, right?
And then this one, the water bill, they're going to forget to sign.
Oh, yeah, we're going to forget to sign.
We're not going to sign that one. We're just going to send it.
And this one, we never got. Right? And like that was how they were. That's how they were handling paying their bills.
Oh my
But
goodness,
there's
that is so
probably
hard.
a better way to do prioritization of paying your bills.
There definitely is better way or better ways to prioritize who you're paying, but it's just that. That's so funny. I remember that. I'm really excited for the show to come back. Have you watched the previews for it?
I saw a teaser trailer on it. They have all the original cast. So like that's awesome.
No, it looks to me like it's gonna be amazing. The one I'm really looking forward to though, not gonna lie, I'm gonna get YouTube Red for this.
All right, don't lie.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
They're making a 10 episode series with the original actors from the original Karate Kid now from back then. So like Johnny's back and he's trying to open up Cobra Kai again, and Daniel LaRusso's there and he's trying to like, why would you want to bring that back? It's like they're adults now, they've got their own kids, and it's kind of picking up 30 years later. And it looks
but the
really
same
cool.
rivalry.
Oh, the rivalry's
still,
there. The rivalry's there.
rivalry.
There's a chip on the shoulder you can tell from the show. I haven't seen it obviously because it's not out yet, but it's looking really good. They all look old, but it's funny.
Yeah, I saw trailers for it. It does look pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
Kids asking about like, he was asking Johnny, he's like, hey, Sensei, is there a way that you want me to wash these windows? He's like, I don't give up. And then it comes off like, just the references.
They're gonna. That's the thing is they're gonna touch that nostalgia button in a lot of different ways in that show, and it'd be really interesting to see how they pull it off.
A week after it comes out, can we line up blocks of ice and have you cut through them on?
That'll be season 2 because that was Karate Kid Part 2.
So that'd be part 2. So we need to wait till season 2.
We got to wait till season 2.
Season 2. Send it back out. Remind Kurt that he's going to. All right, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, he's going to cut through some ice.
Anyway, to get off the general conversation back to the if you have a question, let us know. With bankruptcy, there's a lot of different ins and outs, and sometimes some of the questions that I get are everything's so specific to that person's situation. Is this included? Is it not? What happens if I do this? What happens if I don't do this? Should I file now? Should I wait and file then? Where are we at? Everything. I've had clients where I've said, yes, we should file now, and then something happens. Wait, we need to wait. Postpone it. Sometimes you need other information to come in. Sometimes you have to get the situation set up right. So it's very tactical.
We're talking about a situation where the timing for particular clients can be really important because there's known stuff now, but there's a potential.
There's a potential for unknown liabilities.
If you were to start the process, you wouldn't necessarily be able to pick this up, and so you can go through this whole bankruptcy thing and end up with a worse situation when this other stuff comes down. But if you wait until that other stuff becomes known, you can at least identify the creditor status.
Absolutely, because then you can go ahead and get it taken care of and handled. So it's you really got to look at the whole situation. So the one thing, if you no matter who you're using for bankruptcy, if you don't use me, always be honest with your bankruptcy attorney because it can only hurt you if you don't.
Yep.
Because you got to let us know so
we
can work with
you.
In general, you should always be honest.
Always be honest with your attorney. They're on your side,
yeah,
but they can't be if they don't know what's going on. They can't be completely on your side if there's something you're holding back that could be critical to the circumstance.
Absolutely.
So there was a case, an attorney that we worked with before who had a husband and wife come in, and He didn't ask for any IDs or anything like that, but he started going through the bankruptcy process with him. Files bankruptcy for him. And 3 months down the road, this guy comes in and says, "Did you file a bankruptcy on this woman?" "Yeah, it's my wife." "No, it's not." The wife had paid somebody to come in and pretend to be her husband.
Oh my word!
Oh, I remember hearing.
You remember
about
some
this.
of that?
Yeah, that was an attorney we used to know. That was, I think, wasn't it?
Was that a bankruptcy?
Oh man, I don't know if it was a bankruptcy or if that was a divorce.
It would be funny if it was a divorce, but I feel like it was a bankruptcy.
It would be funny if it was a divorce.
I'm not funny for them.
I mean,
you know,
fake ID come in, notarize, and
and
get notarized and
to meet with
signed.
an attorney. Well, it'd be hard to meet with both sides of the.
that's what I'm thinking. It'd
No,
be a divorce.
because as long as they're getting divorced, but the one person consents and says, "I know you're representing my spouse, but we want you to fill out the paperwork. We're not fighting this. We want to go ahead with it." They can do it. So, that would be.
Yeah. So be honest with them. Don't pay a random person to come in and pretend to be your spouse.
Right.
That one's not okay.
Not cool.
Your wife's calling you names. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, dude.
Am I a dork? I don't have my phone.
Yeah.
Ah, love you too, dear.
In the middle of the.
You're in good company. I
Well,
got
I think it's your wife.
That's my
Who
wife.
knows?
Oh, wow.
She's an actress.
Somebody else could have been.
Hey, an actress?
It's my girlfriend. Sorry.
Somebody logged into your wife's account.
I don't know, man. She's getting into this whole fitness thing. It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Hey, awesome.
So yeah.
I, on the other hand, am not.
Yeah.
I had.
Hey, you walked here in the blistering cold.
Yeah. I parked up.
Oh, you parked.
Right in front of Ricochet. But, well, no, I have, been working with my doctor to try to get some stuff figured out.
Yeah.
You know, I was going along with the little thing that you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're still doing. I'm not. So as we're going through, hey, what's new? You know, I had really bad beginning of this month. I just completely crashed on some illness and stuff. And so we were talking through that, and she said, "Well, you're still doing your diet and fitness stuff." And I said, "Nope." I said, "It's not that I'm eating horribly. I'm just not." I said, "I'm so just sort of beaten down." I said, "Just mentally, I was
It's a tough one.
it was just tough to stick with." So congratulations to you all for doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, this is the last week officially.
Right?
Yeah.
Next
And,
week you get a great graduation ceremony and everything.
it's gonna be the week after next, I think. It's like the 8th or 9th. Or
You're right,
something like
it's
that.
the- yeah, I guess it's
But this is the last official week with assignments due. So we're going out of town Friday, so we got to get them all in Friday morning, which not supposed to turn until Saturday, but he's gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah.
So,
You're going on spring break.
yeah, no, it's gonna be good. We got first time we've been out on a vacation in 6 years. So.
Have your utilities been paid off?
Yes.
Just checking. Just making sure.
And I even put a hold on the mail.
Hey.
Wow.
I'm on top of it. I'm not gonna have my mailbox overflowing out there. We have this tiny little mailbox. It's ridiculous. It's terrible. It's terrible. So, yeah. So check us out at ccSKLaw.com. If you do have any bankruptcy questions, feel free to email them to me, Kurt@ccSKLaw.com, or just go into the website and it's got a comment section of questions you can.
There's a box you can leave.
Estate planning,
Question
business planning, immigration for Jordan. Feel free to ask us about anything. We'd love to help out if we can.
Oh, yeah.
in. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
And again, feel free to contact us if you just have questions. You're not even sure you want to do this or need to do something. Call us.
Or if you don't know what questions to ask.
Yeah,
I get that all the time.
exactly.
I,
You get that a lot
I
in
know
business,
I need
yeah.
an attorney for this, but I don't know what
Where do I
questions
go?
to ask.
Right.
Right.
We're not charging
Exactly.
you for picking up the phone and just giving us a call.
No.
Yeah.
That's not the way that we work.
Until we surprise you with no, just promise.
Yeah.
That won't happen.
I've secretly tapped into your phone line.
If you're being charged, you will know about it way in advance. I promise.
Yes, you will. Yep.
Well, and I think that part of touching on that is we talk. Sometimes we mention the fact that sometimes people are just mad.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to take action. It
Yeah.
doesn't hold up.
Doesn't always mean that you can.
But then there's the other ones where, in fact, part of the conversation I had with Larry today is I have a situation where there's some family strife and families kind of come apart. We had to figure out if there was action that could be taken, and I think when we worked through it, he and I, we start out like, it doesn't really seem like there's an action we can take.
Yeah.
But as you start talking through, I got the information the client talked through, got a broad picture of what the goes on. And then we start talking, and this is what one of the advantages of having a group of people who can bounce ideas off each other is you start pinging things around, and eventually we came around to this person might have an adult protective services issue because of some things that aren't directly connected here, but can they start to support.
It's like an onion.
They
You got
see
to
that
peel the
chicken-
layers.
Right, exactly. Very
Or cake.
complicated.
What about a
Cake has
cake?
layers too.
The cake has layers. Cake's
Yeah.
It's an onion.
all right.
You can't have cake.
I can't.
You
I
have to
can't. I
focus
can
on
have
the
onions.
onion. Yeah.
I had peppers and onions on my Chipotle today. It was
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's but yeah, so it's sometimes people will Google something or it's just my battery's low.
Oh no, Robert Campbell. Bang.
Isaac is the man.
Thanks, Rob.
Does he know you?
He does.
he's not even
Wait,
barely
hold on,
talking.
Let's edit that out.
Yeah, that's fine.
I would say that's an acquaintance comment
Okay.
or a networking friend comment.
There we
I've
go.
known Robert since we were in elementary school.
Oh,
We go way
that's
back.
a
Way back.
that's a
He
back
knows
before
I'm
you
the
or
man.
you.
Yeah.
He knows I'm the
All
man
right.
because he's the man too. We recognize.
There you go.
It is that time. And
Yeah,
the dog
so
says
the
we
court
have to
calls
come
7
play.
o'clock.
Yep.
It's 7 o'clock.
That's a 7 o'clock alarm.
That's our cue.
That's new to our show. We've had dogs drinking water.
Yes, this is the
before.
first
We
first
have-
barking
This is the
dog.
first time we've had dog barking.
But do we need to get a corgi mascot? Is that like?
I don't know.
Nah.
Is that we're thinking next steps for this?
I don't know.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, you
yeah,
can take
that's
care of it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
great.
Yeah.
it's not if I have to be responsible.
And the
So-
answer to my wife on that is no. It's not going to be an English sheepdog if she does ask that,
Oh,
because that's
God.
what she's going to say.
Yeah.
She wants one so bad. I mean, she wants an old English sheepdog.
Kind of like backyard space and neighborhood to walk the dog. It'd be great exercise.
No.
Yeah, you could go. Yeah, just take the dog for a walk. It's great.
I love a dog, but not an old English
I'm
sheepdog.
just not. Yeah.
Not
I'm
compared.
I'm not able to commit. So, all right. Well, thanks again for joining us. We'll be back next Tuesday.
Check us out.
Kurt will be on the road.
You betcha. I'll be out next week, but CCSKLaw.com. Check us out.
That's right.
Thanks. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good one.
Hang on, everybody. Pose.
Pose.